Hey, happy Friday, YouTube. It's Hitman23. And my video tonight is going to be about a one-year wonder. A one-year wonder. All right, let's take ourselves back to 1969. And in this city of Seattle, there was a baseball team in 1969 called the Seattle Pilots. And they were there for exactly 1 year. They played 1 year in the American League West, and then they basically went bankrupt and were sold to Bud Selig and became the Milwaukee Brewers. But they kind of started off in I would say in a hasty sort of way, and unfortunately, I had one season in the major leagues, but they did sport some really cool uniforms. They were the only team to ever have scrambled eggs on their hats, right? So the name Pilots came from the history that Seattle had with aviation. You know, they had the Supersonics, they had the Pilots, and at the time, the team president who basically started the team, he was a former player for the Pacific Coast League's Rainiers. They were a Pacific Coast League team in Seattle, and the Rainiers played at Six Stadium, not the number six, but the word SICKS, like six Stadium. And by the time the Pilots became a team, they were playing in that stadium, which was by even 1969 standards was behind the times. So they're kind of doomed from the beginning, and just played with money problems and just not being very good, and the whole 9 yards. So what I'm going to show you my 1970 Topps Seattle Pilots team set. It's pretty much, I would say, it's just about the master set. I think the only thing I'm missing is the Topps, the mega size Topps, whatever, the Topps big cards. The 1970 Tommy Harper, which I plan on picking up, but I have the poster. I have the Topps poster of Don Mincher, which I'm not going to show here. Just kind of a pain to get out, but I'll show you everything else of the team. So the reason I chose the 70 Topps Pilots team is because it does have the stats from the 69 season, because there are Pilots cards in the 69 Topps set, but they're pretty much all airbrushed, just not very good looking cards. And I decided it'd be cooler to have the cards that actually have the uniforms on them and have the stats on the back. So that's why I did the 1970 Topps, and I'm just going to get right into it. So the manager card here, Dave Bristol. Now, he wasn't the original manager. He came on afterwards. They had I forget who the original manager was, but he wasn't the guy they hired at the beginning. But he did take over the team when they went to Milwaukee. So the manager card here is Dave Bristol, and you can see that really cool Pilots uniform. Like I said, the name comes from the history that Seattle has with the aeronautic industry. In fact, the original team president, he was a part-time harbor pilot in Seattle, so that's where they kind of got it from. So, but it's cool, man. They had the cool hat with the stripe on the front, cool-looking uniform. You can see where the both the Brewers and the Mariners that came upon in 1976 got their color schemes from. At least the original color scheme of the Mariners that paid homage to the Pilots, and they had that cool little insignia. So very, very cool, I think, little piece of history in baseball. So this one here is, that's a high number, so it's a little tougher card, number 556. And just a nice picture of Dave Bristol. And then we're going to go into just the players. Dave Baldwin. And you can see the cool, style vest type uniform with the undershirt. And there's a few airbrushed ones in here as well. Steve Barber. And then we got Bobby Bolin. There's a good shot of that insignia, if you could see it. But you could see kind of, if you look close, the scrambled eggs up on the bill of the cap. So kind of unique for the time. You really didn't see that before. No, nothing quite like that since. Gene Brabender, that guy right there, man, bending bras. And there's a picture of old Yankee Stadium. You can tell because of the facade up there in the outfield. That's the old Yankee Stadium before it was refurbished. And then we got probably the worst card in the team set, to Don Bryant. He was on the Astros the year before, so that's just an airbrushed Astros uniform. Pretty lousy card. Wayne Comer, cool picture there. You got I don't know, is that a pyramid in the background? I don't know. Are they playing in Egypt? I'm not sure, but that's kind of cool. Got that landmass behind him. And you got John Donaldson. And then you could tell there that's an Oakland A's uniform. So Topps, aside from doing airbrushing, they also did shots back in the late 60s, early 70s of guys without their hats on. So that's one of those classic ones there, him without his hat. But you can plainly see that's an Oakland A's uniform. And I don't believe he's related to Josh Donaldson. And then we got John Gelnar, another one in Yankee Stadium. And that's the powder blue road uniforms. And Greg Goosen, one of the few action-style cards. There you can really see the scrambled eggs up on the bill of the cap right there. That's a cool card. I like that card. Very nice card. And probably their best player, they had Tommy Harper. He's definitely probably the best player they had. Tommy Harper was a great player for the Reds prior to becoming a Pilot. So there's that. And then we have Mike Hegan. All right, he's kind of a known guy. His dad, Jim Hegan, also played in the big leagues. His dad was a catcher. So he's a second-generation player. Or I have to call a family tree member, right? And we got Mike Hirschberger right here. And that's another high-numbered card. So again, the high-numbered cards, early 70s, are a little tougher. We got Steve Hovley. You don't know how much, but this isn't the first and not JFK, but just John Edward Kennedy. You can see there, John Edward Kennedy. And that looks like it might be airbrushed. I'm not 100% sure, but could be airbrushed. I don't see the stripe across the hat there, so possibility of being airbrushed. And Ted Kubiak. Got a nice shot of the stadium behind him. Bob Locker. Again, Yankee Stadium in the background. Skip Lockwood. It's probably my favorite card of the whole team set. Catcher Jerry McNertney. You can see him there. He's getting his gear on. He's near the batting cage. I believe that's Dave Bristol there, leaning up against the batting cage. Just think it's a really nice looking card. Love that one. Very cool. High number here is 667, Bob Meyer. Again, you can see here he's got an Oakland A's uniform on. No hat. But this is the last card I actually needed to complete the set, was this one. It took me a while to find that card in the condition I wanted to get it in. That's a tougher find. And Don Mincher, again with that boulder in the background. Don Mincher was a pretty good player, pretty good power hitter. He was on the Minnesota Twins and the Angels prior to playing for the Pilots. So he was probably their second best player, I would think. And I think he just played for them. Oh, everybody played for them just for the 1 year. I'm not sure if he did go off to the Brewers when the team relocated. But here's John O'Donohue right there. And Marty Patton. Goofy face. Goofy. Rich Rollins. Again, no hat. He was a Twin prior to that. Yeah, he played for the Twins for about 8-9 years prior to going to the Pilots. And then we have Phil Roof. He was a catcher for decent time in the majors. Bounced around a bit from different team to different team. I remember him being on the Twins, on the Blue Jays in the 70s. And here's another papa of a player. There's Diego Segui. His son David played in the majors as a first baseman on the Orioles and the Expos and the Mets. So there's Dad. That's the second card. That's card number 2 of that set, the 70s top set. And we got Buzz Steven. These are just cool, fun cards to have. You know, little conversation piece. You know, that team that only lasted 1 season in the majors, and the last single player card is Danny Walton. And he was it looks like he was on the Houston Astros prior. So, again, not wearing a hat. So that's how they kind of covered up that thing. Then we have the Pilots rookies. We have Miguel Fuentes and Dick Bainey. All right. And probably the toughest card in the set is the Pilots team card. This is card number 713. So that's like a super high number. This card's not cheap. I've had it now for a few years, but I've noticed this card has definitely gone up in price over the last few years. That is not a cheap card. So the team card of the Seattle Pilots, so that's cool. They're all there in their Pilot glory, in their stadium. I believe that's a picture of 6 Stadium. And that is the team set. And if you want to add a couple of more pieces to the master, I got the Mike Hegan scratch off. And somebody wrote on the back here, a kid probably wrote on it back in 1970s. That's kind of cool. And then I've got the Tommy Harper story booklet. So yeah, I basically did the what you would call a master set. And like I said, I just need the 1970 Top Super of Tommy Harper, and I believe I will have everything that Topps put out in 1970 regarding the Seattle Pilots. So guys, that's all I've got. I hope you enjoyed that little informational video. Seattle Pilots, check them out. Go pick up a Seattle Pilots card. They have them in 1969 and 1970, so you can find them. And that's it. All right, you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy your collections. Have fun with your collections. And may the cardboard gods shine down upon each and every one of you and you and you. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you at the next video. Later. Bye-bye.